Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. श्री हरिनाम संकीर्तन की जय, हरिनाम प्रभु की जय। जय ओम विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्राजकाचार्य अष्टोत्तर सत हिज डिवाइन ग्रेस एसी भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी श्रीला प्रभुपाद की जय। All glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to Shri Shri Guru and Gauranga. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guroho Shri Yuttapadakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamsha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitansha Namah Vishnupadaya Krishna Preshthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine He Krishna Karuna Sindho Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute ताप्त कंचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छा कल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा कृष्णा राम राम हरे हरे। ध्येयं सदा परिभवग्नमभीष्टदोहं तीर्थास्पदं शिवविरिञ्चिनुतं शरण्यं भृत्यार्तिहं प्रणतपालभवाब्धिपोतं वन्दे महापुरुषते चरणारविन्दं। हन्तायमद्रिरबला हरिदासवर्यो यद् रामकृष्णचरणस्पर्श प्रमोदः मानं तनोति सह गोगणयोस्तयोर्यत् पाणीयसूयवसकन्दरकन्दमूलैः मूकं करोति वाचालं स्तब्धभाषितं पङ्गुं लङ्घयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुदीनतारणं परमानन्दमाधवं श्रीचैतन्य ईश्वरम्। हरे कृष्ण। Hare Krishna. Thank you for coming. My obeisances unto the lotus feet of Srila Prabhupada, unto lotus feet of His Holiness Harivilas Maharaj, expressing gratitude to temple management here, Namrata Prabhu, Damodar Prasad Prabhu, and seeking blessings of everyone here, especially to Dr. Kannan here, who is an inspiration to all of us, a Sri Vaishnav, but a great Radharani Bhakta, and his family is also here, Sri Ram, Dharini ji, and Vasishtha, and the revolving Maitri. And I seek blessings of everyone here so that we can speak something for our purification, our inspiration, and for the pleasure of our acharyas. We are discussing about Sad-Goswami Ashtakam, the Ashtakam of the 6 Goswamis, and we'll begin today by singing all the 8 hymns. We did 3.5 hymns yesterday, discussion on them. We'll continue that, but before that, we'll sing. Krishnot Kirtana Gana Nartana Parau Premamritam Bonidhi Dhira Dhira Jana Priya Priya Karau Nirmat Sarau Pujitau Shri Chaitanya Kripa Bharau Bhuvi Bhuvo Bharavahantarako Vande Rupa Sanatanau Raghuyugo Shri Jiva Gopalako Nana Shastra Vicharanai Kanipunau सद्धर्म संस्थापकौ लोकानां हितकारिणौ त्रिभुवने मान्यौ शरण्याकरौ राधा कृष्ण पदारविन्द भजना नंदे नमतालिकौ वंदे रूप सनातनौ रघुयुगौ श्रीजीव गोपालकौ वंदे रूप सनातनौ रघुयुगौ श्रीजीव गोपालकौ श्री गौरांग गुणानुवर्णन विधौ श्रद्धा समृद्ध्यान्वितौ पापोताप निकृन्तनौ तनुभृता गोविन्द गाणामृतै आनन्दाम्बुधिवर्धनैकनिपुणौ कैवल्यनिस्तारकौ वन्दे रूप सनातनौ रघुयुगौ श्रीजीव गोपालकौ वन्दे रूप सनातनौ रघुयुगौ श्रीजीव गोपालकौ त्यक्त्वा तूर्णमशेषमण्डलपति श्रेणीं सदा तोच्छव भूत्वा दीनगणेशकौ करुणया कौपीनकण्ठाश्रितौ गोपी भावरसामृताभिलहरी कल्लोलमग्ना मुहुः वन्दे रूप सनातनौ रघुयुगौ श्रीजीव गोपालकौ वन्दे रूप सनातनौ रघुयुगौ श्रीजीव गोपालकौ कूजत कोकिलहंस सारसगणा कीर्णे मयूराकुले नानारत्ननिबद्धमूलविटप श्रीयुक्तवृन्दावने राधा कृष्ण महर्निशं प्रभजतौ जीवार्थदौ यौमुधाश्ते रूप सनातनौ रघुयुगौ श्रीजीव गोपालकौ वन्दे रूप सनातनौ रघुयुगौ जीव गोपाल संख्यापूर्वक नाम गानतिभिः कालावसानी कृतौ निद्राहार विहार कादिविजितौ चात्यन्त दीनौ च यौ राधा कृष्ण गुणस्मृते मधुरिमा नन्देन सम्मोहितौ वन्दे रूप सनातनौ रघुयुगौ श्रीजीव गोपालकौ वन्दे रूप सनातनौ रघुयुगौ Shri Jiva Gopal Ko. Radha Kunda Tate Kalinda Tanaya Tire Chavam Shivate. Premon Madhavashada Shesha Dashaya Grastau Pramatau Sada Gayantau Chakada Harer Gunavaram Bhavabhimutau Muda Vande Rupa Sanatanau Raghuyugo Shri Jiva Gopalako. Vande Rupa Sanatanau Raghuyugo Shri Jiva Gopalako. हे राधे व्रज देवी के चललिते हे नंद सुनो कुतः श्री गोवर्धन कल्प पादपतले कालिंदिवने कुतः घोषन्ताविति सर्वतो व्रजपुरे खेदैर्महाविवलौ वन्दे रूप सनातन रघुयुगो श्री जीव गोपाल को वन्दे रूप सनातन रघुयुगो श्री जीव गोपाल को. श्री Sad-Goswami वृंद की जय. So is the creation, so is the author of this creation. Srinivas Acharya, whom we discussed, was a great associate of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. His life began in separation of the Goswamis. He came searching after Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, found that he has disappeared. Then he found that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu had instructed whom? Gadadhar Pandit, to teach him Bhagavatam. But then they would cry so much reading Bhagavatam that the pages of Bhagavatam were smeared with tears of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So he said, how can I teach you? I cannot distinguish between the letters. So go to Bengal and get a new Bhagavatam. That time no Amazon existed. So he went, but then he got lost into the association, and then when he returned back, Gadadhar Pandit also disappeared. Every time such event was happening, he was thinking, I should end my life, because those personalities who are supposed to be my teachers are leaving the material world. But Sapna Choloy, they use like that, through the pretext of a dream, somebody instructed him. Now this pretext of dream, it's called dream, but it's like a divine vision. And these personalities would come and tell him, go to Vrindavan. He goes to Vrindavan thinking that he would have association Rupa and Sanatan Goswami, but they also leave the body. They leave the material plane. Finally, it is unto Gopal Bhatta Goswami that he surrenders his life, accepts him as his Diksha Guru, and Jiva Goswami as his Shiksha Guru. So he is also carrying this Shri Chaitanya Kripa Bharau Bhuvi Bhuvo, the first verse, carrying the weight of Shri Chaitanya Kripa. Why? Because he was always contemplating when to meet Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He didn't meet, then he's contemplating when to meet the associates of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So he's carrying that weight. Srinivas Acharya is describing that Goswamis are carrying the weight, but he too is carrying the weight. So as it is said, right? Like can know like. Only one who knows can feel the one who also knows. कोई दिखाता है तो दिखता है, कोई सिखाता है तो सिखा जाता है. You know, as we say, Om Ajnana Timirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya. The Guru opens the he uses that medical surgical instrument to open the eyes with the salve of knowledge. And then when we are enlightened or when we advance, then we also can feel who is of our same wavelength, isn't? Who is of the same wavelength. So like this, here is Srinivas Acharya, who is so carrying the Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's Kripa that he is appreciating what Goswamis were carrying. Isn't that amazing? Now what happens to Srinivas Acharya? He's been deputed by Jiva Goswami. Now, done. You have to enter into corporate world. No corporate world. Their education is done. Now you are sufficiently filled. You should take these granthas whose authors have come from a particular place. You should get those granthas to those particular places. Bengal. Jiva Goswami has collected all these literatures written by Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, Lochan Das Thakur, Govind Das, and of course Vedavyas's Bhagavatam, etc. and other Gaudiya Tikas. But the authors are all Bengalis who had come to Vrindavan. Now these scriptures should be taken back to Bengal. So Jiva Goswami deputes his 3 stellar students, Narottam Das Thakur, Shyamanand Pandit and Srinivas Acharya. The famous 3 trio. And the trio enter into an arangetram, but some very heartwarming ceremony. What's the heartwarming ceremony? They didn't have Tesla, they had bullock carts. But they were so nice. The bullock carts are being loaded with books. And every time one book is loaded, Chaitanya Bhagavat ki Jai, Haribol, Haribol, Haribol. Everybody would sing, then a book would be loaded to the cart. Then, okay, so and so Govind Das Kadacha ki Jai, Haribol, Haribol, Haribol. Every time a book was loaded, there was a Jai Dhwani. Forget that. Every time a copy of the book was loaded, there was a Haridhwani. Like that, there was a celebration. They were packed into wooden crates. Around 15 men were there. Some bullock cart riders, some sentries were there, and they were sent to where? Bengal. They were going happily. Koi ghatna, durghatna, nahi nothing has happened. All journey is fine. Aap aapke yatra ke aakhri padav par hai. Have you heard this in Govardhan when you do parikrama? Yatra ke aap aakhri padav par hai. Like that. It's important to tell yatra ke aakhri padav because the person will say, okay, it's ending. Otherwise, it's like endless. So they reached a place called Gopalpur, near Gopalpur, and they thought, now the yatra is ended, maybe we should just sleep. Taan dupatta pehen ke so gaye. Or as they say in Hindi, gode gade bech ke so gaye. They sold everything, all their worries, and slept. But little did they realize there was some plan happening. The region where they were there was belonging to King Bir Hambir, who was a great, at that time, a devotee of Lord Shiva and Shakta. He was good in heart, but he entered into a very bad company of some astrologers. And these astrologers, once head astrologer, there were assistant astrologers, and there were a band of bandits. The astrologer said that they have a great treasure. Maybe, I think you don't have to work for the rest of your life. Indeed, it was a great treasure, but of a different kind. So when the night they were sleeping, it was all confiscated. Little did King being Hambi realize that when he opened the crate, he was shocked. What have I done? And when these guys opened up, they were distraught. Srinivas Acharya consoled them. He told Narottam Das Thakur to proceed towards his hometown, Khetri, and Shyamanand Pandit also to proceed further towards east. I'll stay here, pray, and find out. So there's a big lesson here, prayer. Oftentimes the first approach is do, but we can also think about introducing Vandanam in before every effort. That's why these hymns are written. After last session, I've been meeting several devotees, and every devotee is sort of saying, I have a special bond with 6 Goswamis. Some devotees were sharing that how even many senior leaders, whenever they are stuck, they would pray to Sad-Goswamis, please show us the way, because they are exemplars of devotion and they are present here. Actually, we can feel their presence in the books, and they are present in astral plane also. They don't go anywhere. It's just that the recipient receptacle vessel may not be properly constructed. They say, right, mercy बरस रही है. तभी कहते हैं बरसाना को बरसाना क्यों कहते हैं? Barsana is called Barsana because the mercy is baras rahi hai. Like that, actually, thanks to Srila Prabhupada, all the acharyas of several sampradayas who are traveling across the world, that mercy baras rahi hai. But to capture that, we need what? A holeless, a hole without a hole vessel. A hole without any hole vessels. So that the mercy doesn't drain. So these hymns are made for this purpose. He prayed and he stayed with a Brahmana named Krishna Vallabh. Now Krishna Vallabh said, yeah, I can understand you take shelter in our place. There's a Bhagavad Katha happening with the local king. Vyasacharya is doing. And he does it with latak jhatak. Yeah, I mean, it's good. Maybe we'll go. And he said, anyway, it's despondent state. Maybe let me go and hear Bhagavatam and it will give us some respite and some direction. So he goes there. Discussion is happening, but he's thinking, is this Bhagavad Puran or Vyasacharya Puran? From which? What is he talking about? Seems like a lot of, lot of construction happening and deconstruction happening. So he kept quiet. Again, a big lesson. The way of cultivating harmless attitude is harmless first through our voice. No tika tippani, as they say, isn't it? Because there is a principle in Bhagavat which is called Rakshata 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 Koshanam Api Kosham Hridayam. Yasmin surakshite syat sarvam surakshitam. Yasmin surakshite sati sarvam surakshitam syat. Protect, protect, protect your heart. If your heart is protected, everything else will be protected. So why to enter into the tarka, vitarka, kutarka, argument, china jhapti, when you know it won't go anywhere? So he kept quiet. But then Srinivas Acharya is, after all, Acharya. And he's waiting and waiting, and people are observing this Brahmana, effulgent Brahmana, comes every day. He sits in the back, doesn't comment, but his eyes are all oftentimes red. Seems like he's angry. Or, something is going on in his heart, but he's not commenting, and then he disappears. Not like, let's do some HNY networking. HNI, high networking, individual networking after the Katha. Actually, Katha tradition has not been like that. Shukdev Goswami, when he spoke the Katha immediately after class, gone. Parikshinath, dandvats karke uthe, kahan gaye? Pato na hai. Kahin to chale gaye. Because that sense of detachment is there. Katha is only for the Katha's sake. Nothing in acceptance. So, Srinivas Acharya would go back, but then one fine day he just stood and confronted. Because the topic was of Ras Leela. And the explanation was not appropriate. So Srinivas Acharya confronted him, and then King Biram Heer also took the side of this Brahmana. Seems like he is right. I also was not sure about your explanation. So on and so forth. Srinivas Acharya just gives an elaborate commentary, and people are mesmerized. King is surrendered, and then baaton mein baat khulne lagi. He figured out this personality is searching his lost treasure, and I robbed his treasure. King Birambir surrendered. Nana Shastra Vicharanayaka Nipuno. Srinivas Acharya is talking about Goswamis, but he himself was, it is said Srinivas Acharya is a ray of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came to teach Goswamis, to produce literatures, right? But he needed somebody to disseminate. So he came himself as Srinivas Acharya. He used the 6 Goswamis in 6 different ways. Sanatan Goswami, whom we call Bade Gosai, abhi unka disappearance day hai, 3rd July. One of the biggest festivals in Vrindavan, where if you go up the aerial view of Govardhan, you will see a garland of devotees circumambulating Govardhan. You don't have to do anything, just stand. It's called Mudiya Purnima. Mudiya means Mundan Karana. Everybody does Mundan at that day in the honor of Bade Gosai Ji. Because he's called Bade Gosai Ji because he would go to like small Brajbasi's home and he would talk to them. Did your daughter get married? Did your son get married? Are your cows okay? Fasal achhi aa rahi hai nahi? People say, who, Prajalpa? No, but for him he was talking with Brajbasis. And he was seeing them as associates of Krishna. He would see 3 people, 3 girls, and he would say, Radha, Krishna, Lalita, Vishakha. He would see 2 boys and say, Krishna, Balram, Bhagavat vision. So this Bade Gosai Ji, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu used him to expound on what? Bhakti Tattva through Brihad Bhagavatamrita. And in one sense also Vairag. Discussing also that before we enter into the gymnastics of Yukta Vairag, first there should be Vairag. Otherwise it remains only Yukta. In fact, there are 3 stages: Tyag, Vairag and Yukta Vairag. Tyag is a stage in which first we are really not sure whether we are being used by sense objects or sense objects are using us. So hence, as they say, it's better to err on a safer side. They call it in English, right? Err on a safer side. Create as many deterrents as possible between sense objects and us, therefore. This is the state of Tyag. Then it so happens when the object is nearby also, things are not affecting so much. This is Vairag. Still, we don't try to go into the territory. The 3rd state is Uparati or Yukta Vairag, where we are confident, since we have developed a higher Rati. There is a verse in Bhagavad Gita, Vishaya vinivartante niraharasya dehinaha rasavarjam rasopyasya param drishtva nivartate. That niraharasya dehinaha, that person who has stopped eating everything, stopped taking everything, rasavarjam vishaya nivartante. Except for the taste inclination, the enjoyment is reduced. Why? Because he's not taking anything. But the taste remains, the inclination remains. That's actually the stage where Uparati has not come. But Param Drishtva, after seeing the higher thing, the taste, what happens then? Rasa api nivartate. Ras also goes back down. Why? Because it's a milk and ink principle. We were talking with the kids the other day. Ink is there in the pot. You try to remove, what do we do? Scrubbanum, moppanum. Ink doesn't come, so what do we do? Leave it? No. We start pouring milk. First it becomes inky milk, then less inky milk, then less inky milk. Finally the ink is overflown out. What is left is milk. That's the process of Rati entering, Uparati manifesting, and then we can confidently do Yukta Vairag, using a thorn to take out the thorn. Otherwise, both the thorns will be remaining inside. Nana Shastra Vicharaneka Nipuno. He himself was doing that. And what was he doing in the kingdom of King Birambir? So he stayed, he became the Raj Guru. In fact, King Birambir became so much a Vaishnava devotee that all his kingdom started popping different Vaishnava temples, and they had a plan of having what? From Hridayastha Vrindavan, the heart, Vrindavan of the heart, He got it because his guru had it and his guru transplanted him. His heart had, and then from his heart came the Vrindavan out. What was it? Vana Vishnupur kingdom, Nava Vrindavan, a replica of Govardhan, because Vrindavan means Govardhan, Yamuna, and Vrindavan forest. But what was he doing when he was not guiding the guru? Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Anandam Buddhivardhanaika Nipunau. He was expert in increasing the Ananda. So what he is writing about the Goswamis, he himself is expert. Did he take money, facilities, etc. from? No. Only that much which will help in his service to teach the Gurukul, because his prasiddhi was increasing. Similarly, we have heard about Chanakya also. Somebody came to meet Chanakya and he was burning a lamp. And he said, I want to talk to you. It's a state matter or personal matter? Personal matter. Phuk maar diya. He put off that lamp. He burnt another lamp and he said, ab baat karte hain. Wait a minute. Ye bhi mombatti, ye bhi mombatti. This is also lantern, that is also lantern. You could have talked there. No. I burn that lamp because the ghee comes from the state. How can I use that oil for my personal thing? That's my personal oil. Such an integrity, isn't it? That was the integrity of Srinivas Acharya also. He would take as much for the service. Baki, as they say, aao to welcome, nahi aao to bheed kam or sangrah kam. So, he himself also showed what he's talking about in the 4th verse, which we began the discussion. Tyaktva turnam quickly, ashesha mandalapati shrenim, like not only 1 degree, they had many degrees. They were good in Persian, they were good in many languages. And expert. You know, it is said so amazing thing about Sanatan Rup Goswami. This is in tradition, that Nawab Hussain Shah was the king, and sometimes these kings are like really moodies. I mean, they go to mood swings much more than, normal human beings. He caught one of his ministers and said, go there. No preamble, no suffix, no prefix. Just go there. And this minister was also so terrified, he just went there. And he comes to a district and realizes, why did I come here? But he does not have any guts to ask the king. Why should I ask? Because I don't know, another mood swing will come and head chopped. So that was district. Sanatan Goswami was there. And Sanatan Goswami, so intelligent in physiognomy, from the reading of the face, from the gestures. They were after state ruler, so they could figure out, iske man mein kya chal rahe ho hai? You look to be a minister? Yeah. Why are you worried? I don't know. I just got the thing, go there. What should I do? So Sanatan Goswami understood what was going in the state. The king was building some architectural thing, and he has sent him in this direction because in this direction we have sthapatis. So Sanatan Goswami told, just get this sthapati to the king. And the king was shocked. He said, is a buddhu ko knowledge kahan se aa gaya? How did this dumb fellow get that much intelligence that with, it's like, what do we have in C++? First, include using namespace something, right? How did it complete the entire code? And he was, whoa, how did? No, there was this fellow, Sanatan Goswami. And the history changed then, it is said. He figured out, if somebody could be that intelligent, better he come into my team. So just see how history is. Just one episode changed the entire history. It's not written in any book. I have not found it, but it's a tradition, itihas. So Rup and Sanatan Goswami left everything. They were great rulers. They left everything. They went to Vrindavan. But did they broadcast about it? No. Bhutva Deena Ganesha Kau Karunaya Kaupina, the loincloth, Kanthashrita, Kantha. There is an interesting Mm. Interesting, a song which is said in Vrindavan, that do we need a big palace in Vrindavan or do we need a small hut? Small hut. So they stayed under different trees and they would come and associate. This is what Brihad Bhagavatamrita also is illustrating, what Rupa Goswami, Sanatan Goswamis and other Goswamis are showing in their character. The quintessential quality of Dainya. Dainya here means utter humility. Yena sadharana shakta dhamma buddhi sadatmani. That utterly adhama buddhi when somebody thinks about himself. Adhama means low, utterly low, asadharana. While sarvotkarshan vite, they have all the utkarsha, right? They were quite knowledgeable. We see from this episode also. And you know what? Even before they met Mahaprabhu, they were already great composers. There is a tradition in India of poetry called Dutak poetry. Duta poetry in which messenger poems. Like Kalidas we heard, Meghdut. The clouds are the poem, they are the messengers. Rupa Goswami wrote Hansa Dut. The messenger poem with the Hansa is the Dut between Radha and Krishna. And through that he is giving a geography of Mathura. Brilliant. This was before he met Mahaprabhu. So sarvot karshan vite syat. They had all the utkarsh. Yet they are thinking, we are lower than blade of grass. That is Dainya. And why it is important? It is said, Dainyam tu paramaha premnaha paripakena janyate. When the love becomes matured, it gives rise to Dainya. And when Dainya becomes mature, it gives rise to Prema. In that way, they are causal to each other. But how can they be causal to each other? Oh no, they are equivalent to each other. Utter humility and Prema. Who is the best example? Gopis. Narad Muni was tested by Krishna. You want to find out who is the great devotees? Just tell my devotees that I have a headache. So everybody is saying, no, 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 no. We cannot give our dust of our feet. Because Krishna said, the cure to my headache is the dust of their feet. Nobody is agreeing. But gopis are doing what? Scrubbanam, mopanam, and whatever aujar we use, to take out every particle. Why? Even if we have to go to hell, but if it cures Krishna's headache, so be it. Dainya. How could they do that? Gopi bhavara samritabdi lahari kallola magna muhur. Muhur, again and again. They were doing what? Magna. Magna means nimajjan. They were absorbed. They were dubna. Submerged. In what? Kallola. Kallola is that waves. Kallol or that bhavar. Lahari. Waves of what? Rasamritabdhi, the ocean of Rasa Amrit. Which Rasa? Not Jada Rasa, not Brahmanand Rasa, but Gopi Bhav Rasa. What is Gopi Bhav Rasa? Of course, they were none other than Manjaris. So they were absorbed in their meditation to serve Sri Radha and Krishna. See, they are Siddhas. We can just at best meditate on what they are doing, or whatever we have read in Bhagavatam, after being purified gradually through Harinam, sometimes that sprinkling will come. We'll spontaneously remember something what we have heard. And that's why the principle is keep the transcendental vibration going. Even though sometimes say, Prabhu, I may not be remembering, doesn't matter, let it go. It's doing the magic. It's giving the khorak to Atma. So they were absorbed in Gopi Bhav. For us, Gopi Bhav means being servant of the servant of the servant of our acharyas who were servant of their gurus who were servant of Goswamis who were servant of da. We are going there only, right? Gopi Bhav. Which place they were absorbed? Which place did they go and they're meditating? That's the beautiful place of Shri Vrindavan. Kujat kokil hams saras gana kirne mayura kule नानारत्न निबद्ध मूल विटपा श्रीयुक्त वृंदावने राधा कृष्ण महर्निशं प्रभजतो जीवार्थदौ यौ मुदा वंदे रूप सनातनौ रघुयुगो श्रीजीव गोपालकौ Vrindavane. In that Vrindavan, Shri Yukta Vrindavan, it's opulence personified. वो से आज तो दिख तो ना है, दिख तो है भल्ला चक्रवड़ी खाने के टाइप में तो बहुत opulence है वृंदावन में. If you're interested, if you're going to Vrindavan, you're interested in nice Punjabi food, we have Govindas. Go up, we have Balrams. And if you have the taste for Western, MVT, Jindabad. So that Vrindavan which is Sri Yuk, but not only in terms of food, but in terms of opulence, which sometimes we cannot see. And that is the veil over Vrindavan. Actually, Vrindavan is everywhere. It is Vyapaka. That Vrindavan which is everywhere is Golok Vrindavan or Aprakata Vrindavan. Aprakata Vrindavan is revealed through our depth of intensity, our depth of absorption in Krishna consciousness. Anywhere? Here also? In the airport? Wherever? It doesn't need somebody's permission. It just needs the state of heart. However, the Bhauma Vrindavan, which is currently southwest of Delhi, right? 2.5 hours. 5,000 years ago, it was Prakata Vrindavan, that place. Why Prakata? Because Krishna, everybody just came there. History merged or coincided with transcendence. All up there, they came here. All they jumped from the Aprakata Vrindavan into Prakata Vrindavan. But then again, Parda Band, curtain again closed after Krishna wound up the pastimes. So it remained what now? Bhauma Vrindavan. With some vestiges, right? We discussed about it. Sometimes some Nataka is having, play is happening. Jaldi jaldi ho gaya. अरे बाहर धोती रह गई. पर्दा बंद, बाहर पेड़ रह गया. होता है ना? Sometimes some actors also are remaining. अरे पर्दा खोलो. What are those? Those are Drishyaman Vrindavan. Like the Chaurasi Khamba of Vrindavan. Like Yamuna. Like Giriraj Govardhan. Like those trees in Tatistan. Like the trees, like the Brajraj. Isn't it? It continues from them that time. These are Drishyaman Vrindavan. So the Bhaum Vrindavan, the Delhi Vrindavan, not Delhi Vrindavan, where Delhi people go quite often. That is Bhaum Vrindavan, which has these vestiges of Drishyaman Vrindavan. But the veil, the curtain separating that from Aprakata Vrindavan is very thin. So that is why we have 5 limbs of devotional service. One of the limb is what? Residing in those holy places. All are holy places which Srila Prabhupada has established, certainly. And with Guru's mercy, that veil can become thin also. Anywhere and everywhere where the Guru wants. That's true. But for all time to come, this southwest of Delhi, Vrindavan, वहाँ तो पर्दो बड़ो पतलो है. कभी कभी महक आ जाए, कभी कभी नूपुर की ध्वनि आ जाए. हमें नहीं, किसी को आती होगी. That's why some people are staying there. And some saints are staying there. They are feeling they call it magic in the air. Have you seen Little Krishna? Many people have seen it. So it says, right? Yashoda says, there seems to be some magic in the air. Right? The Brahma Vimohan pastime. So Even though there may be constructions and constructions and constructions, and you have monkeys and monkeys and monkeys, and they have developed what is called M.I. instead of A.I. Monkey intelligence, which is transmittable. It has not reached Barsana and Nandgaon because the monkeys there are well behaved. But who knows? They may use, some Behnoi may come and teach the monkeys in Barsana, and you may not realize that even there you have to take out your specs. Sometimes it's so interesting, these habits become a part. When I was leaving Vrindavan, and I think coming out of the plane, I was doing like this. When you go out of Vrindavan, you spontaneously do like this, because you have to hide your specs. So when I was coming out of the plane, I was doing that, because the habit becomes. And then what happened, the air hostess, no, not the people who check in the bags, after the bag was check-in, I said, yeah, Radhe, thank you. I said, Radhe, thank you. So it's good. That's why we keep the transcendental vibration going, because it gives us that ear bug. There are bed bugs, but there are ear bugs also. Some ear bugs off. I hope we all get this ear bug today. Vande Rupa Sanatanau Raghuyugo Shri Jiva Gopalakau. That ear bug. So this place, the veil is very thin, and hence, while we understand this is Vrindavan, if it is possible, if we have blessings of our Gurudevs and it's not hampering our services, then by taking shelter of Vaishnava's blessings and Nama, we can visit sometime Mayapur, non-different than Vrindavan, Jagannath Puri, we have Sri Rangam, so many places, and there we can see special, really special, something happens, and then we carry that forward. I've seen so many devotees who visited Vrindavan. In the flight, they are like, tapka, aasu tapak rahe, and the air hostess bewildered, kya ho gaya? Separation from Vrindavan. This place is hence Sri Yukta. So which Sri we are talking about? This Sri, opulence, the magic, which appears to be commonplace. Yeah, now you can find pizza huts also, and Amuls also, and then Hira sweets also, and then Bharati foods, Royal Bharati foods also. I am giving you. But this Shri is something else. The opulence of sweetness which is behind the curtain. And in that place we have Nana Ratna Nibaddha Moola Vitapa. Vitapa is tree. The base of that tree is जड़े हुए. क्या जड़ा हुआ है वहाँ पे? नाना रत्न, various type of jewels. We don't see that, but some people see that and they can show that. Haridas Swami did it. Haridas Swami is 15th century Acharya. He was guru of Tansen. Tansen is Navaratna of Akbar. It is said once Tansen was in the region of Madhya Pradesh, if I am not mistaken, near Orchha. And people were, or it was Akbar, I don't know, some place. People were envious of him because he would sing good. So they complained to the Badshah, I think it was Akbar only, that let him sing a rag, I think Deep Chandi rag, which can burn the lamps, but it can produce great heat. So that was the strength of ragas and music, because they can affect nature. And us, are we part of nature? Of course. Are the music sounds part of the nature? Of course. Sound stays in the air. That's why it is so important we say that watch out your words, they will stay in the ether. They are undestroyed. So he sung the Deep Chandi rag, so he started having the burning sensation. And the people who were envious knew that, because he did not know the counter raga. You know what is the counter raga to Deep Chandi, which will produce coolness? Malhar. Malhar is the raga which ghumad ke badar aaye, hai na? So the clouds would come and it would Jai Jai Shri Shri Radha Neela Madhav ki Jai, Gaur Nitai ki Jai, Nrsimhadev Bhagwan ki Jai, Ram Darbar ki Jai, Jagannath Baldev Subhadra Mai ki Jai, Sudarshan Ji ki Jai, Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. So he went, he didn't know Megh Mallar Rag, and he's running and running and running, and he reaches a well, and some ladies are um, drawing the water from the well, and they all figured out something is happening, so they started singing the Megh Mallar Rag, Ghumad Ghumad ke Badal Aaye. Rain happened, he cooled. He said, Achhi baat hai. I am singing music in the emperor's court and I don't, and here like people who are drawing water from the well are able to do aushadhi to it. So they said, can you teach me? He said, who are we to teach? Go to Swami Haridas in Vrindavan. So he came and ran towards Swami Haridas, and Swami Haridas then taught him. He tested him a lot. Finally he taught him. He blessed him, and blessings of a great saint are enough. He learnt all the rag and raginis. So once he was singing with the Akbar, and Akbar said, you are the greatest singer of the planet. He said, no, my guru is the greatest. Why your guru is the greatest? Because I sing for you. You just have this area from Pakistan. At that time it was not Pakistan. Sindh to maybe Bengal and maybe Deccan and then Himalayas. But he sings for the rulers of the world. So, as I say, he has a bigger team. You have seen a director. He may be what? I don't know. So he Akbar says, I want to hear from your guru. Can you take him? He said, no, nothing. He doesn't entertain worldly people. Please take me. He said, you have to become what? Bhutva Dina Ganesha Kau Karunaya. Become Deen. Become my instrument carrier. Now, to do any task, you need a laheja. Means a way to do it. So even to carry veena, you can't carry veena like a gada. So he started carrying veena like a gada. He said, Marayega. You say, right? Mar pitayega. You would just carry like a proper thing, but he did not do. Finally, they reached Haridas Swami, and Akbar was dressed as a servant. He told him, just stay out a little bit. And Haridas Swami said, welcome Tansen, why don't you sing something for Thakurji and Kishoriji? Jaan bujhkar, purposefully he sung wrong. And Haridas Swami couldn't tolerate, because for them music is what? To please the Lords. So he started singing, Hari ke naam ko alas kyon karat hai re. Very pertinent song, right? Alas kyon karat hai? Kaal phirat sar sandhe. Kaal, time is very similar to our philosophy, right? Time is taking a bow and arrow and kaun naam nahi le raha, attack. And Ber Kuber Kachu Nahi Janat. Ber Kuber doesn't know who is the high up in finances and who has just Ber. It doesn't distinguish. When he started singing, Akbar melted. And then Haridas Swami said, Baba, deen hone ke liye bhi akal ki zarurat hoti hai. You didn't even have you didn't do your job of servitorship nicely. I could figure it out. This was Haridas Swami. Akbar said, Kachu seva de dijiyo. Kuch service. Give me some service. Haridas Swami said, no service. Everything is full. All booths taken. He said, no, one. He said, okay, we would establish a booth near Yamuna. There is a broken ghat there. Just go and repair. Akbar said, lo kar lo baat. He still had the aham. I am the ruler of this Hindustan. Everybody is under my beck and call. But let's not argue. Let's go there. And lo and behold, he finds Nana Ratna Nibaddha Moola Vitapa. The ghats are made of jewels, and the broken jewel he figures out, because he is after all king, कि I can sell everything, इधर की पीढ़ी का उधर की पीढ़ी का, still it will not match. That's Vrindavan. That's why we also worship the Braj-Raj. Even though we cannot see, we don't see any American or Indian diamonds there, but it's more than diamond. Why? Because it can lead to the transformation of heart. That's why several saints say, apply it here, apply it on the heart, eat it, worship it. Because you can see some white particles and black particles. Who are the white and black particles? Representative of Radha and Krishna. And in that beautiful Vrindavan, you'll see what? Mayura Akule. Akule, like the schools of Mayur, peacocks. Do we know how peacocks make sounds? I'm looking at you, Murli. Any volunteers? Isn't it? And in Vrindavan, it's a tradition, whenever they do the sound like this, we say, Jai Ho, Jai Ho. So even they are singing glories of Radha and Krishna. And Kujat, Koyal, Hamsa, Hans, Sarasa, Crane, Gana, they're all the groups of them. That is how Vrindavan is populated. Radha Krishnam Aharnisham. In that beautiful Vrindavan, they have gone. So where have they, what they did? Tyaktva Turnam Asheshal Mandalapati. Very nice step. I mean, Asheshal Mandalapati, but what did they get? Nana Ratna Nibaddha Moola Vitapa. And there, Aharnisham, day and night, they are doing Radha Krishnam Prabhajatau Prakishta Rupena. With intensity, with quantity, with responsibility. That's the way of increasing depth. Sometimes our intensity may be reduced, increase the quantity. Quantity may be reduced, increase the intensity. Intensity may be reduced, increase the responsibility. With these three things, I think Swayam Bhagwan Keshav Maharaj has this nice triangulation. Intensity, quantity, I believe, and responsibility. For what? Actually, they are doing this bhajan because then they can write, they can say, they can affect authentically. The gunpowder of Krishna Bhakti will be there in the bullet. Jivartha dau yau. And how? Khij ke muda happily. Aao to welcome, nahi aao to bhid kam. They are happy within themselves. They are thinking about others, but in a very pleasing manner. And do they have a schedule in place? Of course. Their rules are like lines on stone. And that's why it is said, Sankhya Purvak Nam Gana Nati Bhi Kalavasani Kritau. Atyanta Dinau Chayau. Radha Krishna Guna Smriter Madhurima Nandena Sammohitau. Vande Rupa Sanatanau Raghuyugau Shri Jiva Gopalakau. Sankhya Purvaka Nam Gana and Nati Bhihi. 2000 obeisances to Vaishnavas. If you don't find somebody, catch Murli and give 2000 to him only. Thare rahe. I have to do 2000 to you. Sankhya Purvak. Why? Because that's the way I can show my sincerity. That's sankalpa. Whatever gets measured gets improved. Isn't that a saying? Whatever gets measured gets improved. Mahaprabhu would do. He would have a sutra tying here, and in that he would chant, and in his left hand that Sutra had knotted string, and in the knotted string he would count. Hare Krishna iti uchchai spurito rasana nama gadana. He was counting. Vichayani vicharyani vichintyani punah punah. Just like kripanani dhananyeva tvad namani bhavantunah. Like that, आपके नामों के साथ हमारा ऐसा आकर्षण हो जाए. That sankalpa, sankhya purvak. Like that, they were doing kalavasani kritao. They were doing their time pass. And for us, it became their pastime. Nidra, ahar, vihar. It was balanced, but under control. Nidra also, ahar also. We have spoken this many times, that one saint would say, Jiska bhojan saras, uska bhajan niras. Jiska bhojan niras, uska bhajan saras. Now, again, that doesn't mean we are boycotting pizzas and things like that. But that means an agraha or a mahatva buddhi is not there. We do for service. And we create opulent for our Thakur. And then whatever Thakur eats, we eat. Whatever Kishori ji eats, whatever Radharani eats. But the Mahatva Buddhi is not there, it's under control. Vihar, also, balanced recreation. Adi Vijitau, but would they like on the Facebook, okay, take controlled ahar. No. Atyanta deenau chayau. They were atyant deen about it. Not marketed. Why was that possible? Again, the third line, we are seeing it again and again. First two lines talks about their interaction. The third line talks about their inner engineering. Now let's change the word. Sorry. That's fine. We call it inner life. Their inner life. Radha Krishna Guna Smriter Madhurima Anandena Sammohitau. Vrinda is asking, Subal is asking, why are these Lalita and Radharani just walking and walking? Kidhar ja rahi hai? Oh, they are going to serve the ghee and the ghrita and the dahi and the paneer and the all milk items, rabdis to a big yajna. Yajna? What kind of yajna? Subal is asking. Oh, you don't know? Vasudeva is performing the yajna. For what? Killing Kamsa? No, not killing Kamsa. To protect Krishna and Balram. Didn't you know so many disasters have already happened? Putana Vada, Shakatasura Vada, Trinavarta Vada. It's so dangerous. This is Madhurima. Always acting and behaving as though nothing has happened, no opulences have come. It's all very normal. Naravat. Sweetness is when opulence is in the backdrop doing all the magic, and in the front it appears to be Shishu Leela. Everything everybody else is doing except Krishna. So that is the Naravat pastime, and it's a great lesson to us also. Sometimes devotee may ask, Prabhuji, how do you know when Krishna feels cold and you should start changing from warm clothes? No, the patka to a jacket, to a sunil cloth, to a woolen cloth, to double woolen coat, to heater. And then how do you know it should revert back to less clothes, and then patka, and then Akshaya Tritiya, Chandan, and then finally cooler. We have chota coolers available in Vrindavan for the Laddu Gopal. And then fountain. And then finally Mogra. How do you know? Well, how do you feel? Do you feel hot? Yeah. So don't make Thakurji dress in woolen clothes. It's what? Atmavat, right? The best which we feel for ourselves is what we want to give to our lords, isn't it? So Naravat, Atmavat. So why are they going? Because Vasudeva wants to protect them. Achho, they want to protect them. But both of them are smiling at each other. Why? Because somebody gonna get hurt real bad there, right? Yes, somebody gonna get hurt real bad, but in the heart, it will mesmerize that heart. Why? Because they also know that gopis are going with a thought in mind that they should intercept whom? Shri Krishna. And they are thinking about Shri Krishna, so this fellow gonna come. By the way, fellow is also a good word, yeah? Fellow of Royal Society of, like that. So fellow doesn't only mean, sometimes you say, that, it's like a fellow. But for us, fellow is, you become a fellow of something, you purposefully we put that FR, like that. So Krishna gonna come, and this is a great lesson for us. More is our bhook, that great bouquet of prem will come. So gopis are taking, but they are thinking when he'll come. And they find him there at the corner, standing. Now role reversals happen. So this is the vakra gati of prem, right? It's not straight. Sometimes you would have seen in the family also, bina baat pe, one member starts becoming angry. And the real challenge is not to become counter angry, because that could be just a way of, like churning. So now gopis and all, they decide, oops, he's here. Let's not focus at him. Let's walk confidently so that he doesn't think that we have anything to do with them. Krishna says, this is quite interesting. They are walking, giving me tender loving neglect. How is that possible? Hey, Thade Rao, where are you going? You have to give me tax. Tax? Is this road yours or your father's road? I don't care, but you have to give me tax. We cannot engage with you because we have taken the vow that once we have done the entire archana and the yajna, then only we can entertain discussion with other people. He said, I have also taken a vow to feed 100 million brahmanas every day. How does Krishna gets all these innovative vows? We do not know. So back and forth is happening, and Krishna uses his Brahmastra. I have to call him. Which person will you call? No, I will call him. Who? Madhu Mangal. And aa gaye Madhu Mangal pet pe karte karte. Kaun ne bulaya mujhe? In Vrindavan, he is called Mansukha also. So if you go to Nandagram, Nanda Baba temple, you see whole Khata Pita Parivar of Nanda Baba. Nanda Baba is there, Yashoda Maiya is there, and because it is Nandagram, so Radharani is on the side of Yashoda in a ghungat, that Maryada is there. And on Krishna and Balram are standing, and on their side there are two friends, Manasukha, Ghanasukha. So this Manasukha, because he gives sukh to man. He's not the cheap jester of Greek tragedy who just keep jumping. The Greek tragedy jokers and comedians are just jumping without any rhyme or reason. But the Vidushaka of our tradition, they are very smart. So Manasukha says, Kyon be lalo, kyun bula rahe ho? Why are you calling me? No, they have come. Who have come? Vrajavadu. So what should I do? No, you should, it's a good opportunity and we should get tax. Tax? Which tax? Road tax? In Braj, I have to use this word. Tere baap ko road hai kya? He said, well, everything belongs to Nanda Baba only. Yeah, is this your father's road? Yeah, of course, this is Nanda Baba's village and I am the prince and I deserve the tax. No, you're using your authority too much. Krishna says, whose side you are? Well, I belong to Manohar Laddu's side. So that's why Krishna said, I'm telling you, don't you know this tax is not the tax of Kapardikas. The Kapardikas are the currencies used in Dan Keli Kaumudi. These are the coins at that time, which Rupa Goswami says. He said, no. The tax here is of Khane wala mal, Ghrita. So, why didn't you tell me before? So he directly goes. He said, wait a minute. They are very heated up at this point of time because I have stopped them and you should go and do some dandavats and chatyanta dinau chayav. So he said, I'll try my best. Dandavats, Prajvadhus, can you give me some tax in the form of Ghrita? Again, back and forth happens. Finally, things are resolved and they say, just we'll do, I think you guys are too pesky, just get some leaves. Why do you need leaves? We'll serve you makhan on the leaves. Come on. We have these 2 nice leaves. I'll have a stone. I'll break all these parts. And then we'll do like this and nicely drink and eat. But then it will be polluted. Go and wash in Yamuna only. Go and wash the pots in Yamuna. It won't be that polluted. So again back and forth is happening. Vishnu Chakra Thakur says, this back and forth is better than Vedas. This arguments, taunt, in Vrindavan we say, Dan, Chori or Hori. Dan Leela, Makhan Chor Leela and Hori Leela. These are the crest jewels of all the Vaishnavas. So back and forth is happening. Finally Krishna says, Baba, submit to their request. Which patta? So they count all the different leaves. Ashoka tree leaf, oh, it's very pavitra. People, that's also pavitra. Like that they count everything. Everything is pavitra. So which leaf to get? They're left with tulsi leaf. So tulsi, it's not patta, it's patti. Itno se. Of course, if he came to Seattle, maybe he would have changed, because here Tulsi Maharani is very khati piti, you know. All glories to all the devotees here, so nicely taking care. So, actually I would say much more than sometimes in Vrindavan. It's very tough there of the cold and now extreme weathers. Now it's in, I think, Jait, where they grow gardens and gardens of Tulsi. But sometimes it's tough. So, it's not different than Vrindavan here, every home. So he goes, he wants the patti, and Krishna says, you go. He said, I cannot go. Why you can't go? Well, because I had several bad experiences whenever I was asked to do these tasks about food. What bad experiences? Once my mother asked me to get a nariyal from a nariyal ka ped. I went there, I climbed up, but I slipped. So with the nariyal I was hanging. And I was praying, but I didn't want to leave the nariyal, because if I leave it, one murti will be destroyed. Nariyal won't come. So I was hoping and praying to Shri Giriraj Ji. Then a person on camel came. I said, Idhar aao. Come here, and at least you can put the camel underneath where I'm hanging, and then maybe we can do a cooperative effort to bring nariyal, the coconut, as well as all of us safely back to my place. But as soon as he brought and he caught hold of my leg, the camel slipped. So now it was 2 and 1 nariyal. Finally, we both prayed now. And a person on elephant came. Same thing happened. Finally, all 3 of us fell. So Krishna said, Achho, kya huo? Well, the person who was at the bottom broke both his legs. The person who was above him broke both his hands. I was nicely cushioned, but the nariyal also fell down and broke. So I don't take these chances anymore. I won't go. You have to go. Krishna says, but they know your weaknesses. They will trick you somehow or the other and leave. I am not interested in their makhan. I am interested in sweet dealings with them. Krishna is therefore teaching us. He is bhavagrahi janardana. Vidur ke meva khaye, we have this song comes where Duryodhan ke meva tyage. I think Maharaj sings this song. And Vidurani ke peels of bananas. Chilka. So, बहुत पीटूंगो तुझे अगर if you did something like that. He said, no, I'm intelligent. Krishna goes, and that's what gopis do. Maharaj, बैठ जाओ, sit down, we'll feed you nicely and we'll give you good dakshina. And Dakshina ke naam se, at that time, a Brahmana like Madhumangal was very happy. So they make him eat, and from behind they gave him nice Dakshina and went away. And he's nicely eating. After a while he realizes that he has been tricked. Krishna comes and both of them are laughing and crying and beating each other and eating the makhan also. When we hear of these pastimes, we feel a certain sweetness. Of course, that has to be aided by our inclination towards Naam. And with blessings of Guru and with the Naam, when we start feeling that Madhurima, we can start appreciating what they were going through. Radha, Krishna, Guna, this Guna of engaging with each other in this Keli Leela, isn't it? In this beautiful pastimes. Smritehe, remember in this Smriti, Madhurima Anandena Sammohitau. Now these are siddhas, they are perfected beings. In their meditation, they are into those pastimes actually. But still, they feel separation. And in this separation, they are going here and there. Radha kunda tate kalinda tanaya Tire chavam shivate Premon madvashada sheshadashaya Grastau pramattau sada Gayantau chakada harer gunavaram Vabhibhutau muda Vande rupa sanatanau raghuyugau Shri Jiva Gopalakau He Radhe Braj Devi ke chalalite He Nanda Suno Kutaha Shri Govardhana Kalpa Padapatale Kalindi Vanne Kutaha. Kutaha means where are you? Where are you? They were united, but then within the womb of union there is separation. Because what if my beloved goes away? And within the womb of separation there is perspective of union. Because jit dekho tit sham. In separation you feel that person is everywhere. Isn't it? Kutaha, where? Ghoshantaviti sarvato vrajapure Khedairis mahavivalo Vande rupa sanatanau raghuyugau Shri Jiva Gopalakau. So Radha Kund Tate, Kalinda Tanaya, Yamuna Tire, Vamshi Vate, Premon Mad, all the Madhurima, Anandena Mattalikau, Samhohitau, they are Grastau. Grastau means obsessed. Bhoot chad gaya hai. Bhava Vibhutau. Ashesha Dashaya. Ashesha Dashaya is the Dasha of Ashesh. Sort of, you can say, Ashesh means limitless. Kind of, we can't put boundaries to that. Such madness. Gayantau. Prabhupada would say what? Become mad for Krishna. If we can have just one slogan, in our lives, just if we can become mad for Krishna and Radha. Gayantau cha kada harer gunavaram bhava vibhutau muda. They are singing, but at the same time they have this separation, which is very hard to describe. Chaitanya charitra ei parama gambhir shei bhuje jar pade tar pade jar mane dheer. Whose mind is dheer in his lotus feet, only that he can understand or she can understand the Chaitanya Charita, because very gambhir. Jar kriya tar kriya mudra वाक्य विज्ञ न बुझाए. किसका? जार मने कृष्ण प्रेम करय उदय. Don't know how Goswamis, they are sadhaka siddha rupena seva rupena chatrahi. This applies, the examples for us are the Goswamis. Sadhak rupena, they are Goswamis, and that we follow. In siddha roop, they are Manjaris. Two personalities. Then what is happening? He Radhe, He Vraja Devike, He Rishabhanu Nandini, He, well, we can take all the Mataji's names, right? He Vraj Devike, then only her? No, Lalite, then Nandasuno, Kutaha, where all? Kalindi Vane, maybe looking at the Yamuna forest, or Govardhan Kalpa. Then say, wait a minute, Prabhuji. Keshi Ghat and Govardhan, there is at least like 20-30 kilometers, maybe more than that, maybe 50 kilometers. And these days it's so pathetically crowded. I mean, it's like Kalindi Vane, then Govardhan Padatale. I mean, how is that possible? Or did they have some break in the middle? But I have heard of saints. There's real stories, not more than 100 years ago, who would just start, they would decide and go to Barsana walking. Then stay for some time, they go to Uddhav Kyari and do some bhajan. Then stay for some time, go to Ter Kadam. Hey, what is happening? Now, even if we reduce the level little bit, I know some brahmacharis who have done in 15 days whole Braj Chaurasi yatra. 15 days. Continuous walking, jahan pe neend aa gayi, so gaye. Ud gaye. Bhiksha mang li. Kha liya. Chal gaye. 15 days in all those forests, and all those small ponds are there, and between the cows and in the, snakes are walking, whatever. We can just imagine what would have happened to their feet. So Goswamis, well, they're transcendental personalities. Kabhi Barsana, kabhi Nandagram, like that. Kalindi Vane Kotaha, Shri Govardhana Kalpapadab Tale, Ghoshantao, Ghoshana, loudly, madness. Sarvato, everywhere. Where? Vrajapure. Vrajapure could also means even Mathura they would go. Or maybe to the boundaries. Khedair. Khedair means with a khed, with a little, you can say, anguish. Mahavivvalau, anxious like anything. Because we also understand now from this example that sweetness is sometimes sweeter. Happiness makes the heart grows fonder. Because ghar ka paneer dal barabar. We will not use the other word. We are vegetarians. And that's what they would do. And that's what when Shyamasundar Prabhu asked Srila Prabhupada what we should do in Vrindavan, you know what Prabhupada said? Just wander. And that's true. Go to Vrindavan, walk around. Every home has some story. One day near Radha Vallabha, I and our mother, we were looking for some temple or a book shop, a book publishing house. And suddenly we entered a courtyard and one girl is like brushing her teeth, looking at us. See, what is happening? And then behind her, exact replica of Radha Vallabha. This is like home deity. And she's brushing in front of Thakur. I said, yeah, ajeeb baat hai. Every home has a story. We say 5,000 temples in Vrindavan. That's very, very understatement. Like old temples. You go near Radha Vallabha, in one place you'll see like a steep staircase, almost like this, with big stairs. Often all the time that temple remains closed. I think it's Madan Mohan temple. But there's a whole history behind that temple. If at all you have no specs or you're using contacts so you can see, Otherwise, Kal Akshar Bhais barabar hota hai. So you can see the layout or the whole city of Vrindavan. Very old buildings you'll see. What are these? These are forts. And if Guru's Kripa is there, madness can happen. It happened with one Mahapurush. Did we talk about Hariram Vyas? We know about Madhavendra Puri. Madhavendra Puri was a great acharya. He had two disciples, Ishwara Puri and Madhav Das. Who took initiation from Ishwar Puri? Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Hariram Vyas was the disciple of Madhav Das. So he's in one sense Gaudiya. He was Rajguru of Orchha. Orchha is 10 miles or half an hour away from Jhansi. It's non-different than Ayodhya. Ram Raja Sarkar is there. Now it's a beautiful, they have really preserved it nicely. So he was such a Pandit that he would go here and there defeating people. And at that time they did not have Chat GPT or Alexa, SP 3.9.41 verse. So in one of the class I was saying that an Alexa Jagrat ho gayi. What did you say? So anyway, Chat GPT was not there, so they would carry bullock carts of actual manuscripts. And their memories were so good, they would actually quote to their assistants, bring out that verse. So he's going to Kashi, because Kashi was considered to be the seat of learning. You defeat that, it's the test championship, you defeat the top, and then naturally you defeat the top, you become the top of the top. So Kashi Pandits are scared. They said, if we are defeated, then the nose of India will be gone, Bharatvarsha, because Kashi is considered to be the Nak, right? So they went to Vishwanath. Who is Vishwanath? Lord Shiva. That's why Lord Shiva has to enter somewhere or the other. He's Bhakta Avatar. How many folks he have inspired? We have a joke in Chopati. We have a Radha Gopinath there, but also Babul Nath there. Babul Nathish. Then sometimes devotees also joke. Yeah, one side Babul Nath, another side Shambhu Nath. I was curious, who is Shambhu Nath? Then I figured it's a Shambhu Nath pan shop. So anyway, Babul Nath and Gopinath. So Shivji came, Vishnath came, and he came as a Brahmana and squarely looked into the eyes of Hariram Vyas. And when the Guru looks squarely into the eyes, it's not the intellect which talks. It's not the words which talk. It's something else which talks. As we say, right? Who you are shouts so loud that what you say, I cannot hear. So who Shivji was shouted so loud, and he just said, Bhai tu kya kar rahe ho hai jeevan se? What are you doing with your life? That entered, did the, Nirma Rin ka jor Shakti did something. He was a transformed man. And he asked, what should I do? It was told, go to Vrindavan. He went to Vrindavan and he was asked to meet a great saint, Hit Harivamsa Mahaprabhu. Now Hit Mahaprabhu was making the rasoi. He would serve Radha Vallabha deity. Who is Radha Vallabha deity? The deity was served personally by Shiva and Parvati in Kailash. Atmadev Brahmana was worshipping Shivji, and he pleased Shivji. And then Shivji said, Tathastu, mango kuch. He said, give me your beloved vastu. Not Parvati, he gave. He gave whom? Radha Vallabha. So Radha Vallabha came to Atmadev. And through Atmadev, in Dahej, it came to Hit Mahaprabhu. So Radha Vallabha is cooking, Hit Harivamsa Mahaprabhu is cooking, and this intellectual Hariram Vyas comes with a list of questions. Sometimes happens, right? After the class. So he said, wait a minute, cooking is going on. Rasoi, thade rao. Kachu nahi jayego. Toku aram karo. Toku aram chahiye pehle. Calm down. But he was so tavla, so anxious, that what did Hit Harivamsa Mahaprabhu do? He reduced the aach. Sim pe rakhna. We have the gas ko sim pe rakhna. He reduced the flame and said, let's talk. This activity itself short-circuited Hariram Vyas. You could have multitasked, isn't it? We do that multitasking so many times. I know in the last few days I've been really multitasking because jaane ka samay, getting this thing, getting that, and finishing few things. But multitasking is a myth, because mind can absorb only one thing. And this is what Mahaprabhu told him. यह जो एक मन बहुत ठौर करे, इधर जाएगा, इधर जाएगा, इधर जाएगा. कछु कोने सचु नहीं पाए. It never receives satya in any path. Through this, now he got his Shiksha Guru. Who? Hariram Vyas. And then he just settled there. So much so that once the king of Orchha came, Madhukar Shah told, Bhaiya, there also you can establish Vrindavan, there also you can do some bhakti. Why leave? So he said, I don't know, ask my Guru. So Guru said, yeah, my blessings. Now what to do? He had to leave Vrindavan. So he painted his face black and he's hugging all the trees of Vrindavan. People, what are you doing? If you leave your relatives, मुंह काला करना होता ही है. तो मैं मुंह काला हो गया है, अब मैं रो रहा हूँ इनसे मिल मिल के. So भैया तुम यहीं रहो. Certainly all of us not would be staying in Vrindavan, and it's not expected us. Prabhupada has established, our acharyas have established Vrindavan everywhere. It's our duty here. But we can absorb that Vrajabhav, which is symptomatic, epitomized by whom? Our Goswamis, our Sri Gurus. And that's our hope, isn't it? And that is why we sing all the time, O he Vaishnava Thakura, Doyara Sagara, Eda se karuna kori. Diya pada chaya soda he amaya, tomara charana dhori. Chaya bega domi, chaya dosha sodhi, chaya guna deho dase. Chaya satsanga deho hai amare bose chi sangero ashe. Ekaki amara nahi paya bala hari nam sankirtane. He's saying ekaki bala. Ekaki bala. Continue. Ekaki bala. Only one bala is Harinam Sankirtan, because Nam can show the Dham. Tannam Rupa Charitadi Sukirtananu. So we depend on the Nam. Tumi kripa kori shraddha bindu diya deho Krishna nama dhane. Now last verse is what we have been seeing. Krishna se tomara Krishna dite paro tomara shakti ache. Tomara shakti, not amar shakti. Tomara shakti ache. क्योंकि आमी तो कंगाल कृष्णा कृष्णा बोली, आमी तो कंगाल राधा राधा बोली, आमी तो कंगाल गौर गौर बोली, आमी तो कंगाल निताई निताई बोली, धाई तव पाछे पाछे. O he Vaishnava Thakura, Doyara Sagara, Edase Karuna Kori. Shri Vaishnav Thakur ki jai, Sad-Goswami Vrind ki jai, Srinivas Acharya Prabhu ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Shri Guru Vrind ki jai, Nitai Gaur Premanande. Haribol, thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Question or Rasa Bhas, so we'll do Kirtan. Kirtan? After this question. Question, is that okay? Or anything, any quick comment, reflection? Okay. That's why it's good to end with the bhajan. Questions are dissolved. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. You can stand up and dance also. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Together. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Together. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Shri Harinam Prabhu ki jai. Kaliyuga pavan Harinam Sankirtan ki jai. Jai Shri Radhe Shyam. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Even the mic doesn't want to speak after the wonderful pastimes. Thank you, Prabhu. So you actually took us to Vrindavan. That's why I said no question and answers. We don't want to come out of that mood. And not only Vrajaraj, whatever weight you are, that's whole Vrajaraj we are getting here. Right? Because you are a Dhamvasi. And whatever you're churning out, the sweet pastimes, it actually makes us feel Vrindavan here. Right? And we really pray to Sri Sri Radhanila Madhav for you, for good progress in spiritual life, and give us this kind of katha more and more, get an opportunity to visit many places, and definitely Seattle as many times as you can. So with that, we'll again thank Harivamsa Prabhu with a loud Hari Bol. Hari Bol! Hari Bol! Hari Bol! And Prabhu, as I said, right, he's also distributing the Krishna consciousness through in a fictional stories point of view. The book Horizons is next to the bookstore. So those who have not got a copy of it, please consider. You can also gift it to your friends and families. So this is means easy to somebody who's not really familiar. It's very easy for them to get into Krishna consciousness through these stories. Now I see a request. You take a photograph as our tradition at the end. Hare Krishna. come.